G'day. This is Habitat House, an extension that embraces the natural energy on its site and connects its family with the environment while enhancing the flora on this inner city property. It's underpinned by a desire to be compact and so provide more garden and habitat for wildlife. It's an approach of designing more, building less and consuming less. It was a collaboration between multiple design disciplines to contribute to a beautiful, sustainable and energising whole site. This is Gaz and Mel. They live in the next street from me. I met them in 2016 at a neighbour's 40th birthday party, and it's one of those bizarre coincidences that tend to happen every now and then where they just read about my own house in Green magazine and have been meaning to contact me and about renovating their house for their family of 4. And they'd already been in touch with multiple design disciplines, including Sam Cox, landscape architect, Wayne Zwar, who does natural pools, and Callery interiors to meet their aspirations for a very environmentally conscious home. And we talk of biophilia, the innate desire for humans to connect to other living things, and for these guys that was really important, with a whole site approach to being connected with nature. Their heritage double-fronted house had to be retained under planning regs, and they'd already done some internal work to it in previous years, but our scope would include significantly reworking the external envelope to upgrade it thermally and cosmetically, and then adding a relatively small extension at the back. Refreshingly for clients in this space, the 600 to 700 sort of extension space, they didn't want to go up, which can be frustrating how often clients' default position is to want to build 2-storey and put 2 kids' bedrooms upstairs or a main bedroom with a parents' retreat, which all too often has no chance of fitting in their budget, resulting in a watered-down, value-managed design. But pleasingly, quality over quantity was their priority right from the start. They want it to be very sustainable, thermally efficient, use passive solar, be all electric with no gas, incorporate rainwater storage, and add to their existing solar power. So we renovated the front of the house, providing new double glazing, new insulation, new electric hydronic heating, polishing the floorboards, repainting inside and out, and adding 9 kilowatts of solar onto the roof and setting up for car charging. Like I said, they'd already done some work internally, a walk-in robe, an ensuite, and a bathroom a few years earlier, which we retained with a few small changes, including replacing a vanity. And then we demolished the lean-tos at the rear with a view to making a new open-plan living room facing east to connect them with beautiful, energising morning sun and a garden designed for them to share with nature. The addition is about minimal footprint but maximum impact. A new open-plan living, kitchen, meals with varied ceiling heights and large openings to draw the exterior in and the occupants out. The addition is only 65 square metres of a total house of 200 square metres. It comprises an open plan living, kitchen and meals that's L-shaped in plan and in section. The ceiling pops up over the kitchen and meals to reveal highlight windows, drawing in warming winter sun from the north and cooling summer breezes from the south. This subtle angle in the L-shaped plan is a small but deliberate gesture to open the house right up to the garden. And the doors retract in both directions and disappear into this brick hearth, which provides a solid anchor to the internal space and frames the view, and with the lowered ceiling emphasises the intimate refuge from which the prospect is viewed. Flexibility is a key to getting the spaces that they needed within a compact single level footprint, and these sliding doors allow the spaces to expand and contract internally. This study/guest room is a multi-purpose space, originally conceived as a guest room for staying for long periods and occasional studying, but post-COVID became a dedicated work from home space used every day, often by 2 people, and only occasionally houses guests. And seeing them both working there amongst this tranquil surrounds on the day of the photo shoot was just so cute. They're just sitting there looking at this view and just so serene. Careful consideration was given to the passive solar operation of the building for natural comfort, electrically operated highlight louver windows on both sides, bringing the prevailing cool subtleties and create cross ventilation, which we could use in here at the moment. And internal blinds and shears control glare and keep in the winter heat. Operable external blinds are integrated to control north, east and west sun to prevent overheating. And after a year or so living there, they've reported they've only used the aircon a handful of times. Another benefit of being single story. The angle of the stacking doors and the L-shaped floor plan creates a bit of a forced perspective that brings the garden visually right into the house. In terms of materials, to emphasise the garden, the cabinetry and the natural light and help work to a budget, the internal palette is intentionally very neutral. except for a bit of colour and texture in the recycled bricks finished with a German schmear and the coloured aggregate in the concrete, which picks up on some of the ochres and other colours in the garden. Connection between rooms. Collaboration was a really important part of this project, more so than most projects for us, which requires an openness to not control everything and let other designers' aesthetics inform ours, like Cantilever's kitchen system, for example, which we're more than happy to use because it's sustainably manufactured and ergonomically and functionally fine-tuned, and a beautiful piece of furniture in its own right. Together with them, we customised it for the space and made, like I say, a deliberate decision to keep our surrounding finishes very neutral to complement it. And working with other experienced designers was a really great opportunity for learning in terms of function and detailing, and even communication with clients. On one occasion, we observed Travis from Cantilever coolly answer the client's question or request for a waterfall wrap down bench top with a gentle but firm, "Yeah, no, we don't tend to do that these days."
2 minutes left.
Cool. And this collaboration wasn't us designing a house and handing over to other consultants to do their thing, nor was it a team of designers sitting around a table and coming up with great ideas together. It was us setting the overall concept design initially, then briefing the others, letting them go away and do their thing. Then we integrated their design back into ours to make it work under one builder, with a fair bit of back and forth in between, which proved a lot more work than just doing it yourself, and at times a real grind. But with relationships founded on shared values, mutual respect for each other's professional opinion, and aesthetic tastes, was really successful. Here we are with Sam and Wayne setting out the pool and the landscape and resolving to keep that red flowering yellow gum that the clients had planted a few years earlier, which has since grown to be a beautiful element of the site and attracts heaps of native bird life. This is a living pool, which uses no chlorine or chemicals, but requires a heap of behind-the-scenes action to make it happen. There's a biofilter tank and a separate water chamber with submersible pump hidden in a structure underneath the deck that we designed and documented to be accessible by trapdoors for maintenance. The system uses microorganisms to break down organic compounds and impurities as water flows through it constantly. And along with the water tanks down the south side of the house and heat pumps for the pool, hydronic heating, aircon and domestic hot water and clothesline on the north side of the house, every inch of the property is used. The algae is actually a sign that it's healthy, but can also be cleaned off if you're not into that. And with no chemicals, splashing the garden isn't a worry and it's healthy for wildlife. Working with Sam Cox, who is a great landscape designer, obviously, working with Australian Gardens in particular, provided great insight to many details, both big picture and small. Things like the sawtooth timber decking detail was his idea, and his lovely pool fence with a 20mm gale mesh that's fine enough for plants to grow up, but small enough that kids can't climb it. And he made a really great assertion early on to not put a dining table in the area between the house and the pool, which we had initially sketched in our concept design, because as he says, why would you want to obscure your view of the pool, which is a really great call. And that sums up this project. The client's willingness to not necessarily have everything in favour of making sure that what they do have is designed and executed really well. Over 6 years, this little project was a real battle at times. It was stop-start, impacted by banking royal commissions, COVID and increasing costs and time, but it's testament to the client's vision to assemble a team of like-minded designers to create the natural, sustainable habitat they desired, and their strong resolve to see it through and contribute to a better environment for themselves and others. Thank you.